Chile and the Department of Entrepreneurship of Corfo is the entity that is supporting the most startups per year in the whole Latin America, 1,000 startups per year. That's the biggest number as an entity, more than any entity in Brazil or Mexico. And you must understand that Chile has 17 million people against the 300 million people in Brazil and the 120 million people in Mexico. So Chile right now is the most aggressive to do that.
If you see the commodities, the industry that we have down here in Chile, you can find that the biggest one are the mining industry, the agriculture, the wine industry. But every time that those industries goes down because of the market, every single Chilean pay for that, and the Chilean economy goes down immediately. So we need to try to diversify our economy in order to be a developing country. And one of those ways that we want to take to be a developing country is with innovation and entrepreneurship. And in order to be a better country in innovation and entrepreneurship, we need to bring talented people from everywhere around the world to Chile. That way, the Chilean can learn from those foreigners and we can be better entrepreneurs. So that was basically the whole idea why we created Startup Chile.
We have a lot of entrepreneurs, but we think locally. It's complicated for us to imagine going to the other countries to expand our services. We are afraid of that because we are naturally separate from all Latin America. So Startup Chile was opening the mind of local entrepreneurs, bringing talent from outside. That was the first 3 years. Then when the government changed, Startup Chile has to be open not just for foreign talent, but also for local talent.
Government has been doing a lot of the work for the last 10 years, I would say. Most of the ecosystem is being paid or subsidized by government money. You see Startup Chile, incubators, me as a fund. We are all under some kind of subsidy from the government.
I have a huge respect for our, for all the Corfo programs in entrepreneurship. They've had their, they have their things like every government because it's bureaucratic and it's the money of every Chilean, it's tax money. But I think their efforts in building the startup ecosystem and investing in startup companies in Chile, they even, support venture capital firms, right, in Chile. So I think they've done a great job in supporting the ecosystem.
If you see the amount of money that Corfo is investing in Startup Chile and you compare with all the numbers that our startups are raising, you can see that this public policy is paid already, So that's the retribution that we're kind of looking for, being a public accelerator, We are not looking for money or to get something in return, like something specific, but we are looking to have an impact in the Chilean economy and culture.
We have passed through the program more than 1,300 startups. 51% of them are still alive, which is a very good number. We have put in this program something around $42 million. They have raised $420 million. It's 10 times the money that we have invested.
Our portfolio, for example, the 21% of our portfolio is valued in $1.3 billion. They have sales for more than $300 million.
Startup Chile right now is one of the 10 best accelerators in the world. It's not something that we say, it's an international ranking. And it's very strange to have a public program, a public product that is one of the 10 best in the world. So we're pretty proud of Startup Chile. Innovation is it's not the first option to invest for private investors. It's very difficult for them to see the opportunity. When you have a huge amount of money as capital, you might be inclined to invest in traditional markets or to buy a house and start to rent it because it will give you money in the short term.
We are a risk-averse mindset, as a society. not prone to risk. And there's a big density of entrepreneurs, but not that big density of investors or VC firms, as opposed to, for example, Silicon Valley, that has a good density of both, right? Investors and entrepreneurs. So, and we're just not ready to take the risk. It's just so hard, right? And failure is not seen as something positive.
The startup industry in Chile is pretty new for them. You know, we have been here for maybe 6 or 7 or 8 years, and they don't know still how to invest in startups. But now we're seeing that a lot of investors are bringing foreigners investors to do the same that we did with entrepreneurs at the beginning of Startup Chile. You know, try to teach them how to invest in startups, and now we see a lot of investors in Chile that are trying to put some money into the local startups. But still, it's one of our weaknesses, and we are working to boost that part of our ecosystem with the investor network that we have here.